Trollbox podcast initiating in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome everyone to episode 6 of the Trollbox podcast. Today I have B.B.2K17 on the podcast. How's it going, man?
Hello everybody, I'm fine. How's everybody? How are you?
Great, man. I'm glad you came on. I wasn't sure if I was going to do the show today because I had a wisdom tooth taken out, but I'm feeling pretty good, so I
Ouch.
figured, yeah,
You got your wisdom taken out, man.
it was kind of brutal.
Well, I'm not as wise as you. My wisdom tooth is still nowhere to be seen.
I still have one that's coming in, but yeah, it wasn't fun. Let's just say that. But you know
Well,
what
I look
is
forward
fun?
to mine.
Huh?
I look forward to mine.
Yeah. What is fun though is the trading markets right now.
Oh yes, absolutely. If you just take a look, well, just for record, today is the 7th of the May of
Mhm.
2017. And just taking a look at the general landscape is pretty much green everywhere. Don't you agree?
Yeah, it's very very green. I mean, Ripple's insane right now. I sold around 6,000. I should have kept them, but
Gosh, when did you get in then? Or how
around like
early did
two
you?
or three. I mean, I've had Ripple on and off throughout the years, but they're not like a long term coin for me, really. But
Hmm.
I always watch them, and if I feel like it's time to buy, then I usually grab a bag or so. But yeah, wow. I never
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
I'd see a
yeah.
10,000 Satoshi Ripple.
Yeah, well, for the listener, if you're just wondering the situation now, pretty much everywhere we see for the past, what, 2 weeks, I would say? Wouldn't say
Yeah.
using 2 weeks. Yeah, so the last 2, maybe 3 weeks, it's been slightly green and just literally green absolutely everywhere. You got Ethereum Classic, all the well-known and less well-known, pretty much all going up, very little red, even for 2 weeks. So yeah, pretty good generally. But as for Ripple, I still don't understand Ripple. I don't think I ever understood, how investor would sort of benefit from the operation. I mean, I don't know. Do you
Well,
enlighten me if I?
I agree. Like I like the technology and everything, but as like an investment with like, I mean, don't they hold a bunch more on reserve and everything? And then yeah,
Yeah.
so
I mean, I'm
uh,
not spreading FUD or anything. It's just
right.
I just don't. Still, at the moment, right? I think somebody posted in Slack in Shadow Chat or somewhere that just sort of explaining how it works, and I still couldn't get my head around where's the value generated from. It just seems like record holding or record transferring
Hmm.
technology to me. But
Yeah,
I mean, you can't argue with profit. So
yeah.
I mean, if you make money, fantastic, right?
Yep, exactly. I'm happy to see
Yeah.
Monero getting out of the basement a little bit too.
Well,
They're pretty strong.
Monero is bound to go up one day or not. I mean,
Right,
of course, as I always say, when people ask why is price going up, well, there's only two places that can go up or down, right?
right.
It's just a matter of timing. So if you timed it right, fantastic. I mean, I personally didn't go into it because I just don't know when the bottom is. So rather than chasing the FOMO, or I couldn't see the the attraction still. So I kind of I might sort of I guess it's time to sort of talk about what sort of things sort of quote unquote turns you on. So what do you what sort of things do you look into when you sort of buy them? Do you just word of mouth, or
Well, I look at their price first, and then I see if there's any current demand in the market. That's just the basics.
Mm,
Then I'll usually check out their like announcement post on Bitcoin Talk or something like that. See if there's any articles about them, and then I'll talk to my friends and stuff and see if they're into any of them and see what they think. But that's usually the extent of my research. Maybe read the white paper.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I think confirmation from peers probably definitely boosts your confidence about certain projects and stuff.
Yeah.
I think I mean in terms of, I mean like I think the hardest part is to sort of know when to get in, right? Like
Yeah.
is there's a I think Joe's guy, I think it was it that who wrote the investor, was it Intelligent Guide to Investing?
Yep, we had him on here.
Yeah, so I mean, like one of the things that is mentioned, I think everybody agrees, and it's also very hard to sort of grasp, is to sort of quote unquote not follow your heart in a bit. You know, sometimes when things are going up, it's like, well, you get in now. Well, you just don't know. So, but I mean, my general tactics sort of just, I know they're just well-known projects up there that for example, they're gonna do well. Like, it's sort of no-brainer that Ethereum and Ethereum Classic is just gonna go up and up. And well, I mean, Ethereum, no doubt, because a whole bunch of ICO is gonna start on there and plenty more in the future. So. Holding that sort of just no-brainer. And as for Ethereum Classic, those are sort of, look, they are the original chain. So
Right.
I think recently Stamply, I couldn't remember what the name exactly was. They I think they decided to do their tokens on the Ethereum Classic chain as well.
Really?
So, yeah, so I think because the biggest argument, or one of the posts that they put out, is that they want to be on a chain that is immutable. Literally, if you think about it, now that Ethereum has I say dozens of tokens on there, and if say another token that goes wrong, and if they roll back the chain, that's going to affect all the other things that have records. So you're not messing up just your public ledger, you're also messing up with the other tokens history as well. So I don't think Ethereum is going to pull that trick again now that they have done it once. So I'm sure Ethereum Classic have earned their name as well for sticking to the principle. So if anyone thinking of holding those, well, it's no brainer already. So if you got in early, fantastic. If you get in now, I still think they still have some plenty of potential to go up.
Yeah, for sure.
But what do you reckon? What do you reckon on the scene on those smart contract tokens thing?
I still think ETH is going to kind of dominate ETC, but I mean, given that it's the classic Ethereum technology, I mean, that's still a good coin, and surely like there'll be other things built around it as well. I know a lot of things are focusing on ETH, but I hold just about as many ETC as I do ETH. So.
Oh, fantastic! I never got in too much into Ethereum because I guess I was affected by the FUD and people saying, well, ETC is this, ETC is that. But, well, I still got a handful of Ethereum anyway because, well, never live, there's profit there. Why bother go against the flow, right?
Right.
So but still on the topic of Ethereum and Ethereum Classic, the another one that caught my attention, I'm not sure if it's been through your radar, is expenses.
Oh yeah, Expanse?
Yeah, Expanse. Yeah. Did I pronounce it right? Expanse or EXP.
Yeah, they're good. I've held them in the past as well. Right now I don't. I probably should remedy that, but
yeah, I got quite lucky on that one too, purely because here's another security topic, a little bit off topic here, still on the topic of cryptocurrency though, of course.
Yes.
We
can go off topic if you want.
Oh well, I wouldn't say off topic. It's just as irrelevant. Sorry. I mean, how, because we all have a bit of cryptocurrency here and there. Do you keep yours on exchange most of the time?
Depends. It depends on the coin. If it's one that I'm going to be trading or trying to sell anytime soon, then I usually keep it spread out on several different exchanges. But I do have my main wallets.
Yeah.
And,
I think, yeah, I think some people, well, it's hard to educate everybody, but I think if anybody's listening and they keep most of the coin on exchange, I urge you to keep those that you don't plan on trading anytime soon. Keep it on a wallet where you keep your private key, because all you have to do is just Google two terms, either Mount Gox or Big Phoenix.
Yeah.
If you look at those and check out what happened to them, I'm sure you want to keep your your funds somewhere safe. So
Yeah,
a bit of word of warning here.
definitely.
Well, in case anybody wondering how I keep mine, I put mine on Coinomi. They're supported on Android at the moment, I think. Not on Apple as far as I'm aware, but they're pretty good. You can keep a lot of different cryptocurrency just all in one place, and their dashboard shows you your summary and tells you everything. Oh, just in case anybody is wondering, this is not sponsored by Konomi, okay? It would be great if it would be sponsored by them.
But if
Wink,
they did,
wink.
yeah, if they wanted to kick some Bitcoin our way, we'll talk about them all day. No.
Yes.
But, yeah.
How do you? Yeah. So, well, I don't keep all of them in the same wallet again.
Right.
Of course, you don't want to put all your egg in one basket. Yeah, just like you say, it depends on what coin as well. Like, say for example, if there are coins that are, say, proof of stake, Shadow, for example, is one of our favorite, I think. And I kept mine on a Raspberry Pi, and well, I guess anybody who have followed Shadow would also be also aware that they switch over to Particle, and they are also going to be on proof of stake as well. So I have my Raspberry Pi ready to stake those coins when they come out.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to start staking my Particle.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, so I also have a channel on YouTube as well. So if there's when they come out, I should be sure to make instructional video on how to compile those daemon, and hopefully show people how to get those coins staking the easiest way possible. Of course, if you can find me just by googling BB2K17, it will come up. All right. What do you think?
Yeah. I'll also put the links in the description, or the links in the YouTube videos info section, so people could be linked right to that.
Sure, absolutely. So, anything you're holding that you're going to be holding long term, or anything that you have sort of sold? Because we at the moment we are the 7th of May 2017. There are green absolutely everywhere, but then again, there is green. If you don't take the profit, that's still no gain. So, are you still holding on tight, or have you cut some slacks?
A couple things. I haven't sold any Ethereum because I don't think I'm ready to sell that. I'm watching this stack of Dogecoin rise.
Yeah,
that's really special for me
interesting.
because I spoke about this in an earlier episode that I actually entered cryptocurrency through Dogecoin. So I found out about that before. I mean, I knew about Bitcoin, but I didn't. I was like, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to get, because at that time it was like $500, and I was like, and then I didn't realize that you could buy just like pieces of the Bitcoin at that time, and then so then I found Dogecoin, and then I got into there, and I was around for funding the NASCAR and all that stuff, and it's awesome to see it like really performing well right now. And
yeah, it's on number 13.
Oh yeah, it's worth more now than it was worth when I was first buying it, which that was that was hurtful to see how far down it went, and then Bitcoin's value was staying low, and that it didn't really, but I kept holding it, and when I moved out to California, I had to sell down my stash, and then I had to build it up a little bit over the last couple of years, and I'm back to having a little handful, but yeah, but I'm happy to see it where it is right now.
Yeah, I think it's funny to even try to mention this to people. Just buy 1 or 2 coin, turn off your computer, come back in 2 years' time. You'll be happy. You don't have to worry about anything. I mean, just look at Dogecoin. Just like you said, well, now it's number 13. Can't argue with that.
Right. And it's,
I mean, the general scene is just right now. This is still the beginning. This is still the infancy of cryptocurrency.
oh yeah,
Money is still flooding in. So I think when people are surprised that Dogecoin go up, well, don't be surprised. There's still plenty more money rolling in.
yeah, and it's a robust coin. I mean, it's
Anything that's still based on Bitcoin Core, I think is still pretty robust,
that's
right?
true. Yeah. Well, it's
Unless
based
you're
on
one
Litecoin, right?
Not too familiar. Like
it's
I Dogecoin. I don't dip my toe into things that I I mean, if you ask me to invest in Dogecoin, I may as well ask you, well, why not buy some Monocoin? One dog, one cat, just as good.
Yeah.
So yeah, talking about Ethereum, even classic tokens. I haven't got any token whatsoever, but those are, I mean, I don't understand them. I mean, generally, I don't think most people understand half the technology behind some of these projects anyway. Of course, I don't claim to know them, but it's just one step removed, if you understand. I mean, trying to understand what Ethereum is
Right.
is not impossible. I think it's doable. And then now Ethereum, you can create tokens on top of the public blockchain. I mean, do you think you have a explanation you can give to a newbie in just 2 minutes?
I think I'm honestly in the same place you are with it.
Yeah, especially, I mean, the DAO, yeah, I could understand the reason why it was created. And now you got match pool. That really completely blew my mind already. I mean, what can you not do with already the chain that you can create? And anyway, if you make money, fantastic. I just couldn't get my head around it.
Yeah, I feel you.
There are people a lot smarter than I am, obviously.
Yeah. So, what are some of your long positions? What are you? I mean, I know you're in Particle, of course, but
Yes, absolutely. Particle, definitely. Well, I've probably, if anybody asks me why am I even into Particle, well, there's definitely a market out there. Privacy, as people don't value them. Oh, I wouldn't say don't value. I mean, privacy is just important. It's just as if you haven't already watched the I guess Citizen 4, Edward Snowden, I absolutely highly encourage people to watch it. Although it doesn't mention anything about cryptocurrency, it's purely privacy centric. Just the other day, I was actually thinking of buying something online, which I thought, I mean, it's nothing. It's no big deal. Anybody could have. Anybody could buy it online. It's just I thought, wait a minute. This item is a little bit out of my normal usual standard, and if I did buy it, it just looks a bit strange. And I thought, I do actually need a sort of a different marketplace for me to buy these sort of items. I mean, of course, I'm not going to say it out loud here because it's a little bit embarrassing, it's a bit personal, and this is why I value my privacy as well. So,
right.
A marketplace where you could do deals without leaving any sort of record of privacy. This sort of thing is really important to me as well. Although I wouldn't say there's a trillion bazillion dollar market out there waiting, but there's definitely people who need that kind of market, and of course there are boundaries and laws where if you want to import certain items in a different country, sort of impose ban on this type of item because they want to protect the economy. So there's definitely a market out there. These sort of my long-term position, those are not going anywhere anytime soon. So excited to see that launch. Of course, I don't see it price rocketing straight up in the first couple of days. If anything, it's probably going to plummet straight down. I mean, great, fantastic. Pick them up if you want. I'll pick them up for you.
Yeah.
So so very exciting. Of course, most people in the cryptocurrency world just couldn't wait for the things to come out the next day. So of course, Rome isn't built in one day. So
right.
And of course, people do sort of have doubts, saying, well, if it's just the same as Shadow, just copy and paste and just run the code, right? Well, actually, it is not. If you follow the news, they're running, the latest Bitcoin core code. Well, not the latest anymore because they're 14.1 now. But it's just a minor fix. It's not much beneficial going into that. So excited to see that as well. Other long position, well, as I said already, Ethereum Classic, and a little bit of Expanse as well, because recently they have got their I think there's one. I think they got something called the bond program thing, and then the app. Yeah, so they it's not. I think it's just. It's not something that it's not like the match pool or the DAO. It's nothing similar to that. It's basically I think they want to create something similar to proof of stake or masternode in a sort of a what you call it, smart contract environment, where you would pay upfront 100 expanse, and then every month you get 1 expanse back. So in 1 year you get 12% return. So that's interesting. Yeah, but then your funds are locked up to the bond. So of course your bond, you can exchange it to other users as well.
Right.
So, but right now the interface is still need a bit of brushing up. And if you just look at the price now, they have. Yeah, just like most of the cryptocurrency have been a steady up, but they've been performing pretty well. I think it just took them less than a month or two, and they have doubled and even tripled their position already. So early investors, I mean, they're still pretty cheap.
I mean, right now kind of looks like a good time to buy some.
Well, I would never advise anybody to buy it right now. I always go, just take a look at the chart. If you think now is a good time, go ahead. I generally don't like to buying things when they're going upward, but sometimes it's hard to resist when you think, this is going up, let's go and get some. But it's hard to resist. I try to get some when they're on the low, but then again, like I said before, you don't know where the bottom is. So it's just finding the right balance.
Well, let's just say this. I mean, the last time, it looks like I'm on my Bittrex account right now. It looks like the last time I held any was the 6th of July last year. And I sold them around 64,000 Satoshis. So, I mean, their value's holding up, and right now, even in this crazy market, it's still right around where I sold it. So,
yes, I mean, the ratio I do is anything that's as when they're really on the top of the chart. I put the least amount of money in. So for example, if Ethereum, I know they're just going up, but then because they have a bit of drama, I mean, of course, there's no doubt they still go up, but I don't have as much on there. Actually, on the contrary, I have more in Ethereum Classic because I just like the people in Ethereum Classic. because why not? And they have Charles Hopkins, and their team is HKIO, and because I'm from Hong Kong,
Right.
definitely support that. Just because your office in Hong Kong, it makes all the difference, man.
Yeah.
And actually, to probably to most people's surprise, actually, I have more in expense than in Ethereum Classic because well, they are the fork of Ethereum Classic. Of course, they at that point it was just Ethereum. They are a fork of Ethereum, and they're not completely the same as they claim now. They do a little bit different things. Well, just like anyone who forked from Bitcoin, just like the hundreds and hundreds of all the other coins as from Bitcoin code base, they all have a little bit of different functions. So, if Ethereum is going to carry on the way they do, I don't see the reason why the same wouldn't happen to the other quote unquote smart contract bucket, right? So there's a bucket right there, smart contract bucket. So that would include Ethereum Classic, Expense, maybe some degree Spectra as well. Not Spectra, sorry, my bad. Sorry, Stratus. That's the one, Stratus. Yeah. Do you know much about that one?
Not too much. I know it's been brought up on the show a couple times. I know. Yeah. I think dealers into them.
But I mean, I have quickly looked at them. Recently, because I got in purely before their Masternode announcement.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Masternode because I still think it's a little bit arbitrary, the number they said. So, I mean, you just know when everybody mentioned about the term Masternode, money is going to start flocking in there. So, yeah, I put my toe, I dipped my toe into Stratus and performed well, and it still continue to perform well. I don't know, but yeah, what do you think?
I've been kind of keeping an eye on Stratus right now. In my opinion, it's a little. The chart doesn't make me want to buy it yet.
Yeah. Well, like if anybody's thinking about getting a Stratus Masternode, well, you already missed out because the Masternode, you just, unless you're a rich boy, you're just not going to able to afford that kind of thing.
Right.
But then again, I mean, my view on Masternode is, I mean, yeah, they definitely make money for people, but what are your what your philosophy on it?
I think it has its place. It did used to be kind of the big thing, every time coins were coming out all over the place with news of their masternodes. And it's, I think, was it Darkcoin that was one of the first ones to...
Yeah, well, now it's known as Dash.
Well, now it's Dash, yeah, but...
Now it's Dash, that's right.
Yeah. That really helped them out in the beginning.
Yeah, I think I personally not exactly supportive with Masternode because the number they set on Masternode is quite arbitrary, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, I could make a coin now and say, the supply of the coin is, limited to 1 million. And the Masternode, I'm going to set it to 100,000. So, how many people... It's completely arbitrary. So, I mean, money still flood to them. So you can't, like I said, as an investor, all you have to worry about is not the philosophy, not the emotional effects of what makes people upset or not. What you care about is what makes people money. And again, is to know when to get out. So even though Masternode are out there, even though your personal philosophy, like myself, are not exactly supportive to these technology, then again, if you can get in early and cash those money out and support the project you support, well, great, fantastic. I think that's what you should do. And even though I say I'm not personally, favorite, I don't. My personal philosophy is not for Masternode. Doesn't mean I don't invest into Masternode. I'm just for full disclosure because Bata, BATA is actually they have been rising for the last month. They've been rising pretty steadily. I think actually pretty steeply, and they have been falling back down for the last couple of weeks as well, and into a pretty well position that hopefully will remain that way. And I think it's actually a good entry point if anybody is looking.
Which coin is this again?
BATA. I think they're
Yeah.
ranking just around 200 something right now. They have, I think, reached around 100 something. They have, yeah, they have a couple of, yeah, they have white papers everywhere, I guess. But they're pretty active. Their Slack doesn't have many members, so I think that's one good thing to really to check out the project is legit or not is get in early and see if the developer is actually bullshitting or they actually care about their technology, because I mean Pifex, another one that has been, I'm sure, a lot make people a lot of money. One thing I don't like is when the whole community is all about making money. That's one thing puts me off.
Yeah.
What I want to see is people talk about the technology more. So, I mean, that's why you don't see me publicly talking about, hey, go and buy this coin, and hey, go buy that coin. And,
Right.
I mean, I try and do that in my own personal time. I don't advise people really go and buy anything, but it's good to look at and to be aware, what sort of things are out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, it looks like Clam's making a big run too.
Clams, yeah, that those.
You ever use that? You ever do that?
It's on Koinomi.
Yeah, it's.
I have looked, and their price are not bad, but
I got like a free Bitcoin
what did
out
it
of
do
one
again?
Okay? So if you have any old wallet addresses that you're not using, you can like upload those wallets to Clam, and as long as it's I think it was like active before it's some certain date. As long it should be on their website. As long as the wallet was active before then you get free clams out of it, and you get like 5 or 6 per wallet address. So like if you had like an old Bitcoin wallet that had like a ton of addresses on it that just built up over time, you could like get like a legit like a whole Bitcoin out of it.
Gosh, wow.
Yeah, like I did pretty well when like the first round back when it first came out. It was pretty wild. Yeah, just free money, free Bitcoin.
It's still, yeah. Well, looking at the graph, it's a pretty wild ride.
Yeah.
I worry when I dip my toes into these sort of things. So
I mean, it's just free. If you're not using anything, it's definitely worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, can't argue with profit, huh?
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's kind of weird and sketchy, like feeling at least. But I mean, I guess people want to buy. I don't know why people buy them on the exchanges. I guess just because they just like to trade them like everything else. But
yeah,
there must
I think this is one thing that worry most is they're just project out there that you have zero clue as to why anybody would get them.
Yeah, I mean they're almost the same price as an Ethereum Classic.
Yeah, and I worry that some people exploit that kind of thing. I think OneCoin, that sort of exploit your gullibleness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because it's still quite early in the crypto space age. There's still a lot of projects trying to gain traction, and I just hope that I haven't been lied to, or put my money into where people think they were going to be doing something that they're not. So
right.
it's still very interesting.
Yeah, there's the roadmap is barely even at the beginning.
Yes.
It's crazy. It's I mean, to see rises like this and stuff, I mean, it's a big deal, you know. I mean, I'm doing pretty well, you know.
I think a lot of people can say the same thing as of
Yeah.
today. I think just the sheer amount of greens all over the place. Talking about patterns and trends. One recent one I have been looked at closely is all the SegWit that's been going on. Are you aware of all the SegWits
Yeah.
happening all over the place?
Yeah, it looks like Litecoin activated it.
Yep, absolutely.
Hence
That
the
one went through the roof.
yeah.
And Coinbase is finally supporting it. Is that
Yeah,
true, or I just read it some? Oh,
I heard
fantastic!
that too.
Congratulations, Charlie Lee. You
Yeah.
made it.
Yeah, he's a good dude too, Charlie.
Yeah. Too bad I haven't dipped my toe into it because I'm a person of functionality and sort of, I want to see the tech. I mean, Litecoin, I'm sure you did great. The people are fine, but tell me more about your coin.
Yeah, I feel
What
you.
else? What else do you do again? Oh right, okay, you just a statement. I mean, of course, I'm not bashing about Litecoin. Absolutely nothing to do with that. It's just if you make money, fantastic. I'm sure. I regret I didn't put it. I regret I didn't put any into it because again, functionality is of course now that they could boast, hey, we have SegWit, Bitcoin doesn't, so
Yeah,
that's definitely one advantage.
definitely.
Yeah. So speaking of SegWit, there's other coins as well. One to mention that's also on the same bucket as in the privacy bucket is Navcoin.
Huh, I don't know much about them.
So when it's a little bit of a flashback. Just when Monero pumped, because Monero, of course, a privacy-centric cryptocurrency,
Yeah.
that also brought along all the other privacy-related cryptocurrency as well. Shadow Cash being one, Navcoin being the other, and I dipped my toe into Shadow Cash, and the reason for that, rather than Navcoin, even though, I mean, I'm sure people even hear the name Shadow Cash will sort of turn away if you offer two privacy coin, right? Nothing else, just the
Yeah.
label.
Oh no, I thought it
You-
was cool.
you-
Sometimes I tend to sway towards the darker things, but I liked
yeah, well, of
it.
course, yeah, that's a niche market there too.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I actually went with Shadow Cash. I didn't went for Nav purely because I did not. I wouldn't say I don't trust exchange. Like if you already heard what I said about holding your private keys. I'm sure you're aware that I'm not a big supporter of exchange. So I do most of my stuff on either Changely or Shapeshift. So at that point, and still right now, Navcoin is not actually supported on a Shapeshift, and Shadow Cash was. So
Yeah.
why not? So I went that route, and of course I'm not sad that I went this route. And of course afterward I still bought some Nav because recently of all the SegWit that's going on, Nav is actually quite similar. In fact, they are proof of stake as well. So they're actually the first, if their claim is correct, they're the first proof of stake to be activating SegWit. And they've been climbing steadily as well. Once they've announced that they've been doing the voting on what with the POS system, proof of stake system on SegWit. Because protocol is going to be proof of stake as well, and we're going to have native SegWit. The fact that we saw Navcoin carrying out the voting with POS, I'm sure Particle is going to do even better that we have native SegWit, so we don't have any problem with the backfoot compatibility that all the other SegWit cryptocurrency have. Of course, it's not a big deal. I mean, of course, but if we're a native SegWit, then we don't have to worry about compatibility. It makes dev easier. The code is going to be much cleaner state for the developers to work with. So I very excited to see a native SegWit. Definitely, we can. Well, I say we are not speaking on behalf of Particle, but as a holder of a Particle, I can say, first POS to have native SegWit is going to be very exciting. Of course, the SegWit itself is just the first step towards Lightning Network, and when those come out and atomic cost chain exchange, when those things comes in, man, the cryptocurrency space is going to be very different from what we see today.
Yeah.
Well, at least I hope.
True.
But it's a shame to see Bitcoin SegWit activation is still not there, because if Bitcoin is there, I'm sure it will bring. I hope it will bring the playing field up for everybody as well. Because if Bitcoin perform well, everybody is going to perform well.
Very true. As we can see right now, even.
Yeah, even the dominance is going down.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't mean anything. It's still the big daddy. They are still we are still copying their code. I say
Right.
copying. We're still taking the technology that the Bitcoin core devs are offering, such as SegWit, Lightning Network, and maybe even the smart contract that's coming to Bitcoin as well. What's it called? Rootstock? Are you aware of that?
I haven't heard much about that.
Yeah.
Enlighten me.
Or RSK. Yeah. If you look.
Oh,
if you just
Rootstock.
look up- Yeah, Rootstock.
Yeah.
Yeah, the supposedly smart contract for the Bitcoin code base. So that would be interesting again if they get that to work. And of course, if SegWit also activates on Bitcoin, that would be fantastic as well. So yeah, absolutely, still a lot of exciting news ahead of us. Nothing to despair. There's still more greens going to be coming in our way, of course.
Yep.
Just like any roller coaster, there's going to be up and down. So happy now, you're probably going to be crying the next week. So if you did make money, of course, don't it's not just all in and all out. Just cut a little bit, spread it somewhere, or take some out, enjoy a extra pint of beer or something, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So yeah.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on. It was great. I know it was kind of last minute, but we pulled it through.
No, thank you very much for inviting me.
For
I
sure.
like to share some of the trends and things that I see.
Yeah.
I mean, just letting people know these kind of things. So, I'd be great if people would let me know more as well, because there's just so many things going on, and I'd love to know other exciting projects that's happening. Of course, more
Definitely.
promising. I want to see some real good tech and some good community behind it as well. So, yeah, very exciting times ahead.
Yeah, indeed.
All right, thank you very much for having me on here.
Yeah, my pleasure. You could definitely come back on again sometime if you'd like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a good time.
All right, happy trading, everybody.
Happy trading and profits to all. Hey everyone, I just want to tag it at the end and say that we have started a new YouTube channel. So please go and subscribe to Trollbox Podcast on YouTube. We have all 5 episodes up at this time. We'll have 6 up soon. I'll probably still put it on SoundCloud first, but it'll be on YouTube shortly. So check us out there. We don't have a link like youtube.com/trollboxpodcast yet, because you have to meet certain requirements, and we just started the channel. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe, and you'll get more content that way. Also, you get to see the backlogs episodes in case you haven't gotten to listen to them yet. Check us out, and don't forget to subscribe. And also, follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/trollboxpodcast. If you want to come on, just hit us up on there. If you have any questions, hit us up on there. If you want us to talk about anything in particular, hit us up on there. Even if you just want a shout out, hit us up on there. You can also email us at trollboxpodcast@gmail.com with any questions. So have a great week.